So I've been asked to speak on HR as a business partner, and we're looking at uh, HR as a business partner in 2026. Now, we are gathered today around this important question because we cannot continue to do HR the way we have been doing and expect a seat at the table, especially with the way things are going, especially next year with the way things are going. A lot of reforms are coming, especially with the government. Okay, everything, disruption is so, rampant everywhere now that post-COVID, all the things we thought will come in 2030 and, and beyond, they are here. So what does it really mean to be HR in 2026? That's what we want to look at. If somebody went to coma in 2019 and suddenly wakes up now, an HR professional, even if you are, the top of your game in 2019 and you suddenly comes out of coma now, you better go and resign because everything has shifted and we have not seen anything. We're just starting. So let me start from here. Let me start from here. Okay, I think my camera is not on. I'm trying to manage the network, but let's hope the internet will cooperate. So let's start from here. We're entering into a defining moment in our career, the kind of moment where an entire profession, our profession, either steps up, or gets sidelined. We either step up our game or, we just get sidelined, just like that. I mean, for several years, many organizations have seen our profession as, you know, um, the people who process letters. I think from the history, they say we started as people they just hired to help them manage, errands, issues around employee welfare. They need employees to settle down in their accommodations. It's us they will use and all of that. And, it evolved with the intervention of the likes of Dave Orridge into a strategic role. And here we are, we find ourselves here. So they've seen us as the people who help them run payrolls, who organize trainings, who handle disciplines and queries, etc., etc. All of these are important, but they are largely administrative, largely operational. But 2026 is not looking for administrative HR. 2026 is demanding strategic HR, not administrative. I know we've been on this matter for a while, but I consult for a few organizations, I mean, top of their game. And even at those levels, I see that HR is still more of a transactional function, than a strategic one. So 2026 is demanding HR as a true business partner. As a true business partner. Because organizations cannot afford any longer, an HR function that just manages processes. No, that era is gone, it's finished, it's over. So businesses last. Competitive pressure everywhere. There's rapid change. Like I said earlier, volatile market, uncertain regulations. This is one we have entered into now. Even my own accountant is running helter skelter. I wanted to do his job. I ran into errors while he was trying to run up and down, understanding this new tax law and all of that. And in the middle of that, they need one thing from us. They need insights. Please, can we mute? If we can mute everyone and make it impossible for them to unmute, I think that will be fine. So we can have a clean meeting. So They need insights. They're asking questions, especially from the people aspect of the business. They're not asking for activity from us. They're not asking for noise. They're not asking whether we did a program or not. They need insights about talent risk, about workforce readiness, about capability gaps, about, issues around cultural health. So if all we do is run HR processes, we will be excluded from strategic decisions. And I hear us loud and clear, crying about for a seat at the table. Yeah, it's only CFOs they bring to the table. If you want a seat at the table, then you better do the things that those at that seat do. If all we do is run HR processes, we're going to be excluded from that strategic decisions. But if we can interpret data, if we can connect it to our business priorities, if we can translate it, into people solutions that move revenue, yes, that move revenue, that move cost, that move risk, then we earn our seats and we keep it. Again, revenue. Business is about, I run chains of businesses. And by the mercies of God, they are doing well. So I'm speaking from the business aspect of things. And imagine HR coming to tell me, just coming to count all of these numbers we count, engagement rate, all of this. What is this? My business with that? Okay, I have salaries to pay. I have profits to declare to shareholders. That's everything in my head. If what you are telling me does not support that, please. I respect you, but what are you coming to do at the meeting, at the management meeting we're having? You can't contribute to the conversation we're having here. So we as HR business partners must move from forms to foresight. We must move from transactions to transformation. We need to move from HR said so to the numbers. Can't lie. The numbers are proving it. So let's quickly look at the 2026 HR mandate. And as we zoom out, to the global picture, some of the things we'll be seeing: the world of work undergoing deep transformation, not cosmetic or surface level transformation. I mean real deep transformation. First, AI acceleration. Artificial intelligence, even though some of us we don't know it beyond ChatGPT, but they are here and they have come to stay, and they are defining how work is executed, in organizations in an unprecedented manner. Tools are now making decisions in organizations. Yes, tools. Algorithms are screening CVs. No be so. We call it ATS. Are those not tools? Are they not the one deciding, who you pick? You have millions of applicants, millions of applications. The tools are the ones deciding, even though you set the keywords, you program the bot, are the ones taking that decision. They are drafting reports. They are predicting attritions. So the questions are. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted there. So the questions now should be: what capability are we building in humans alongside machines? That's number one. What capabilities are we building in humans as AI is attempting to take over. That's number one. Next, workforce fluidity, which is increasing. People are no longer loyal to one job. No longer loyal to one job title. They are loyal to their skills and their options. Their skills and their options. What's the need for them primarily? Today they are in banking, tomorrow in fintech, next tomorrow working remotely for a company, maybe somewhere in Canada, from their corner in Surulere. Joy, is it okay? Please mute. Then we talk of governance and regulatory expectations, which are tightening by the day. Tightening by the day. Another one has come out now. Everywhere you look across the world, you will see that boards are under pressure. Issues around ethics, compliance, ESG, data privacy, and so on. So we cannot be a bystander in that conversation because we are at the center of issues around conduct, around ethics, and around culture. Next, leadership models. It are shifting like never before. From command and control to agility, issues around empathy and distributed influence. All of these organizational leaders are now expected to listen. Joy, please. Joy, please, can you mute? Joy, is it okay? Leaders are now expected to listen, expected to co-create, to move fast, and not just, issue instructions, movement. So the model is shifting. The leadership model is shifting, shifting to empathy, shifting to agility. And all of these is doing one thing, pulling HR to the strategic table as an architect. If we know what we are doing, as a co-architect of, organizational transformation. All of these issues I've been mentioning. So the big idea is, if you are an HR business partner in 2026, your job is not just to support the business. Your job is to shape the business, not to support. Shape. Are shaping it through people, through culture, through capability, and all other factors. Your job is to help the organization translate strategy into behavior. Strategy into behavior. They're making sure that what leaders say become what people actually do in the organization. They have to connect the dots between all functions, finance or operations or leadership, compliance, culture, workforce capability. You are the only function that sees the whole picture. So you must stand in that unique vantage point and then influence the direction of the enterprise. That's where you should enter, the role you should enter into. And not just someone that they call on when they need to hire and fire. So your job is not just to process HR transactions. You have to protect the business from people risk, which other issues, from compliance failures, or issues around capability decay. Yes, protect the business. You have to prepare the business for disruptions. Market is shifting. Yes, prepare the business for those market shifts. For the future, you are preparing the workforce for the future. Yes. Work a day this HR. And we just they do them anyhow. You have to ignite performance, managing processes, shaping the conditions where people within the organization can excel. Yes. We are igniting performance. So in 2026, we must be the value creating engine. We must assume our role. It's our role. It's our legal right. The value creating engine, defining the agenda and shaping relevance in our organizations. Now, still on the 2026 HR mandate, let's look at the Nigerian reality, our own complexity, where we are now. And in this country today, we're doing HR, permit me to use this language, in an economy that is under pressure. Inflation and economic volatility are squeezing both organizations and employees. I brought another one now. Tax by force. Salaries are struggling to catch up with reality. People are working, but they are worried. Their pocket is under attack. Their well-being is under pressure. And that's issue number one. Next, the Japa wave. The Japa wave that has created a serious knowledge drain, especially in the country. You train them, you develop them, then suddenly you are doing a handover meeting on Friday, and then by Monday, they are saying hi to you from Heathrow. Yes. So we are left with leadership gaps, capability loss, and sometimes, a tired, overstretched workforce that is, covering 3 roles in one. We are left with serious gaps, serious leadership gaps. And that's another big issue. A major issue. A major issue. So, and then there's the regulatory and tax reforms. Regulatory and tax reforms. And these are changing, how we run payrolls, how we do pensions, compliance reporting. And with all the indications, with all the handwriting on the wall now, next year, any error in payroll will be a compliance risk, a major compliance, a reputational one. Then issues around infrastructure challenges, power or connectivity. We are here now. We are begging God that internet we shall cooperate with us. And transportation. And all of these are affecting how hybrid work actually works. It's nice to say we're in a hybrid we're a hybrid organization. It's nice to say that until NEPA shows you shege. Until NEPA takes lights during a Zoom board meeting. Or your high performer somewhere, it's a hybrid world, maybe somewhere in Abeokuta, can't get a stable internet during a client pitch. And you know that there are challenges. So you can't leave the employees to figure it out. In 2026, you must build that support structure that helps them to perform even in imperfect conditions. Then the issue around talent scarcity, especially in critical roles around digital engineering, data, specialized technical functions, and so on and so forth. That's another major issue. Another major issue. And the most worrisome issue here is, you're not just competing with your industry. If it's just within your industry, that's fine. You're competing with the entire world. People here now, your talents, where you're supposed to be pulling talents from. UK is poaching them. Canada is poaching them. US is poaching them. South Africa is poaching them. You are competing with the whole world for the same talent. So you see, in Nigeria, we cannot afford to be theoretical. Cannot afford to just be running things the way we have been doing. You must be strategic. You must be street smart. Yes, street smart. I know we have to be professional. Of course, I can't be unprofessional at this level of my life. You guys brought me to the council of CIPM. But oh boy, we said no, my Jemima, you have to be street smart. Enough of grammar with no action. You must think big picture. But as you are thinking big picture, you must also understand local realities as is applicable here in Nigeria. It's one thing to design a beautiful talent retention strategy on paper. Ah, wow. It's another thing to sit with a 32-year-old high performer who is the breadwinner for an entire extended family, earning in Naira and holding an admission letter to relocate. That becomes a big issue. And you are the one expected to convince this guy that staying with you in the organization makes sense. See why you need to hone your game now. You are the one expected to keep the organization stable while respecting the dreams of that person in front of you. And that's a whole different kind of HR. And that's what we are entering into. We are already in it. I'm just preparing. I didn't choose this topic. They gave me the topic and said we should discuss it. That's what we are entering into fully next year. A different kind of HR. HR that is layered, that is emotional, that is complex, that is unpredictable, that is deeply human. I've moved from VUCA now. They say it's Barney. Only God knows which one they will come up with next year. So we must understand context. We must understand pressure. We must understand aspiration. And still, in spite of all this, and still align that to organization performance. Oh boy, work there our head though. Because if you don't know, you are managing the entire organization. I'm managing the entire organization. So in your organization today, I want us to reflect. Does HR reflect this Nigerian reality in its strategies? Or are we just copying global templates and hoping they will work? That's not something you should answer. Let it be sounding key in our heart. So still on the 2026 HR mandate, let's talk about the other side of the table. The other side, I'm talking about the CEO, your CFO, your business leaders, and co. What do they really expect from you as an HR business partner? Because they too have shifted their expectations of HR. Like I said, I'm on that table. They're no longer impressed by we ran 15 trainings last quarter. Congratulations. Oh. Use my money to run 15 trainings. So they're not impressed with we hired 50 people in 3 months. Ekpele hire. We updated the employee handbook, so grammar. Those are activities. We want impact. Impact. So what do they want from you in 2026? They want speed, not bureaucracy. We have hid under processes to magnify bureaucracies, bottlenecks. HR. Child. Under bureaucracy, we have hid under processes. It's our process, it's our process. What happens to efficiency in processes now? They want HR that unblocks, not HR that delays. They want the kind of HR that simplifies, HR that can say, here is the risk, huh? And here is the option. Here is the decision we recommend. They are pointing the problems to you. They are recommending the solution to solve the problem. So if all you do is to bring problem without bringing solution, oh boy, we don't want to see you because you are always the one coming to announce problem. You are the bad news bearer. Next, what do they want? Insight, not activity reports. They don't just want to know what happened. They want to know, so what? So this happened. Oh, so what? What's our top talent risk in the next 12 months? What skills gaps will choke our strategy if we don't act now? Yes. Because if it chokes our strategy, it's affecting the bottom line. And remember, their priority, forget all the grammar, forget all the people things they're talking about. Anything that does not impact the EBITDA, P&L, not really interested. What is the people side of this merger, this expansion, this restructuring? Yes. That's what we should be talking about, not giving stories about activities when the business is asking for interpretation and direction. They want financial credibility. And this one is big. So as HR, we must be able to link initiatives to revenue. We must be able to link initiatives to cost. We must be able to link it to risk. If you cannot talk numbers, if you can't talk ROI, return on investment, your voice will be emotional but not strategic. You will sound almost convincing but not convincing. And in tough times, emotional arguments are the first to be ignored, straight up. Because emotions won't bring won't bring bonuses, won't pay for my Singapore training, won't pay for my Dubai holiday, won't bring bonuses, won't help our expansion, our acquisition efforts. Emotions won't do that. It's money that will do that. Emotions won't help us with our market share. Money, profits. Next, we want clarity. I'm mixing things up now, maybe because I'm a business leader also, clarity. I want HR business partners who can help see around the corner. Yes. If you go into this new market, what workforce implications should we anticipate? If we automate this process, what do we do with the people currently doing that work? Yes, these are questions. These are things that we should be doing, we should be concerned about in 2026. If we change our reward model, how will it land across generations and locations? So in 2026, the HR business partner is no longer just an HR support. We are wearing so many caps at the same time. Advisors who can challenge and guide leaders. The analysts who can read the data and tell the story. Change leaders. Abi, which other one? I said it times and again. Organization architects who can help design structures, who can help design roles and capabilities that fit the strategy. So you are not just the person, leaders call after they have made decisions. You must become the person they call before those decisions are made. So before we go deeper into the models, the tools, the 2026 trends, I just want us to pause and reflect honestly. In your current role, are you seen more as an administrator or as a true business partner that you're supposed to be? When last did you go to a business leader, not with a form, but with an insight? If your CEO were to describe HR in one sentence in your organization, the HR you do now, what would they say today? Just hold that in your mind for a moment. We will come back to that. So let's move on quickly to the next slide. So what does it mean to be an HR business partner? And this question is very needful because many organizations, that title is now a fashionable label. We change the title from HR officer to business partner, but the work is still the same old transactional HR. Letters or queries or approvals or recruitment logistics, training coordination, and so on. So the point is, in 2026, the HR business partner is not defined, will not be defined by the things they do, by the things they do. They will be defined by the decisions they shape. Decisions they shape. So it's not about the tasks you execute, but the decisions you influence. And it will be correct if I say it's not about the forms you push, but about the outcomes you are able to drive. So let's look at the first one there, the multidimensional human resource business partner. As you have heard again and again in this conversation, you are not just one thing. You are wearing 4 hats at the same time. You are a strategist, you are a consultant, which other one can you see on your screen? You are a coach, and you are an organizational architect. There are so many other things, but let's just look at this 4. First, a strategist. That means you don't start with HR activities, you start with the business agenda, asking our growth priorities. Yes, that's what you should be. Where are we trying to win in the market? What are our competitive edge? And what people capability must, sit behind the edge. For example, what example can I use now? Let's say your company wants to expand into a francophone country. They won't just be thinking we need to recruit. You need to think what skills, what language capabilities, francophone from anglophone, what language capabilities, what kind of cross-cultural leadership do we need to put in place to succeed there? You are connecting business ambitions to people reality. That's one angle to it. 2, what's the next one on the screen? Consultant. You are a consultant, not a messenger. A consultant. So you walk into a director's office, not to collect instruction. Permit you to use collect, but to diagnose problems. Sit with the guy, talk business talk, use business language. You're asking for data. You're looking at trends. You are challenging assumptions. Maybe a sales director says, we have a performance problem. You don't just rush to roll out more training. No, you dig into the numbers. That means you yourself must have trained yourself to be able to spot numbers, insights within numbers. And that's why at your level, if you can't use Excel for HR analytics, please go for that. I've done several videos on that on our YouTube page, and they are free. Please go there and have a robust, hone your skills in that space. You're taking out numbers. Who is underperforming? In which regions? Under which managers? Since when? Is it really a skill issue? You're asking. Or is it a structure issue? Is it targets? Is it tools? Maybe leadership issues? That's what we are talking about when we say you are a consultant. That's diagnosis. That's advisory HR. Thirdly, you are a coach. Because you're not just managing policies. The leaders themselves, you need to build them. You sit with managers who are struggling to have, tough performance conversations. You should help them think through it. How do I address this behavior without killing morale? Engineers, accountants who are low on emotional, intelligence, they struggle with these things. How do I lead change without creating resistance? So you are shaping their mindset, their communication, their emotional intelligence. Not only solving today's issues, you're also lifting, leadership capability for tomorrow. And then I've said it times and again that you're an organization architect. I'm not going to dwell there. But the kind of questions you should be asking as an architect is, our structure helping or slowing execution? Yes. And if it's slowing execution, then what must we redesign? What must we simplify? What must we remove or realign so that the business can actually move with speed? You're asking. Which other architect question is coming to my mind now? Role definitions. Do we have clear role definitions, or are people just overlapping and confused? Okay, if our people are overlapping and confused, then what clarity must we create? Abi, that should be the next question. What boundaries must we define? What expectations, must we reset so that accountability becomes, real? Performance, reward, and all of these other issues, talent systems, are they aligned with the behavior we say we want? We are just dashing money to any people anyhow, whether they perform or not, as long as they are in a good book. So in other words, you are not, just working in the organization. You are helping to design the organization. So when you have HR business partner, sure, now your understanding is changing. You just think HR with a nicer title. No, you're thinking strategist, you're thinking consultant, you're thinking a coach, you're thinking architect. All in one human being, all in one role. Next, we look at translating strategy into people reality. The ESCOs goes for a retreat. They come back with a beautiful slide deck, vision, mission, 5-year strategy or 3-year strategy, strategic pillars. Which other grammar do they blow? Fantastic. But the question is, so what does this mean for our people? That's your headache. You see, strategy on paper is cheap, very cheap. But strategy lived through people is where the real work is. And they say culture is strategy for breakfast, any day, anytime. Strategy is your how to achieve your organizational goals. Culture is how we are currently behaving. We have settled in this behavior now. So culture supersedes strategy any day, anytime. You should leave how the people are behaving now. You want them to start behaving in a way that will help you achieve the organizational goal, which is strategy. Oh boy, if the culture contradicts strategy, you are not achieving anything. That's why Peter Drucker, I think it's Peter Drucker that says strategy will eat, culture will eat your strategy for breakfast any day, because strategy, culture is who we are currently. We don't need to go to the gym to build muscles. We are currently settled in this behavior. That's culture. And strategy, who you want us to be to achieve organizational goals. So your headache as an HR business partner is how all of these things they have come up with at the retreat will be lived through people. How the culture will align with the strategy. So the questions I think you should be asking, what is the business really trying to achieve? In numbers, in markets, in positioning, not vague language, specific goals, revenue. I've said that again and again here. HR be used to accounting terms. Market share, cost optimization, expansion, diversification. Which other one? Tax matters now. You should know it in and out. What kind of workforce do we need to achieve that? What skills? What leadership level? What culture? What level of agility and digital fluency must be possessed? You are asking, what people systems must we design or redesign to support this? Do we need, what's coming to my mind now? A rethink of our workforce planning? Talking about people systems to support what we want to do. Do we need stronger capability building programs? Do we need real succession pipeline? Not just names of paper. Do we need new engagement levers to keep people energized through the change? Do we need to adjust our performance and reward models so that they reinforce the behavior we are asking for? The current performance reward system now, I hope it's not one of the things that is messing up the organization, whether somebody performs or not. After 3 or 4 years, is promoted. And that's the real work. That's how strategy becomes reality, not through the slides. Now, quickly, because my time is ticking, let's talk about the business first mindset. I've said it again and again and again and like I shared with my sister, Ife, I've said we just have this conversation and wherever we stop, we stop. I've said some of this again and again here. You must think like a business leader, full stop. So a business leader will not start from policies, start from performance. You don't start from what HR wants. You start from what the business must achieve. The strategic goals is what you cascade down into an annual business plan. It's what you cascade down into quarterly objectives. It's what you break down into various departments, and that comes into individuals. That's performance management. I'm already hitting performance management. And that's what determines, your people focus, your HR focus for that year. I think if we look at it from these 5 lenses, revenue, that's number 1. How does this HR decision help us create and sustain value? We need to create value. We need to sustain value. Any other thing is irrelevant. If you sit in your office and you say, Number two, risk. What people efficiency. How does this impact output? How does it impact the speed with which we execute? I'm talking about cost of this initiative. Customer. How will customers we serve? Any other thing is irrelevant to me. I know we need to take care of them, but productivity is what's on our mind as business leaders. If they are productive, for as long as they will cooperate, they will be productive. You cannot come with all of these, let's manage them, all of those other issues. The risk, cost, customer, which other one now? Revenue, and I think I mentioned productivity. My time is fast going. Let me move to the next slide. Let me move to the next slide quickly because of our time. So the core competencies. Core competencies you must, acquire and hone in 2026. Number one, strategic and financial acumen. I don't need to overflow this because I stressed this again and again today. So let's leave it there and move on. Number two, people analytics and predictive insights. I don't think I've dwelled here, as much as I want to. Even though I remember I've referred you to take courses around Microsoft Excel and HR analytics. You must be able to use data to see patterns you will never catch with the naked eye. Who is leaving and why? Which managers and talent magnets? Which of them are magneting talents and which are talent repellents? The data should be able to show you. Not I feel, I think, in my experience, all of those ones are fading. Your intuition will fail you. We need evidence-based, decisions. Which roles carry the highest risk if they go vacant for 60 days? Where are our future leaders currently sitting? And are they stuck? This graph, performance potential. I hope we don't have people with high potentials but low performance. That means they are stuck. If you know that graph, he has so much potential, but it's not performing. That means he's stuck somewhere. And only analytics can help us, fetch them out. So maybe you build a simple model. That shows if voluntary turnover among senior engineers goes above certain percentage, just give it a number, maybe 12%. Project delivery will slip. Cost of delay will rise. And we miss customer deadlines. Yes, these are predictive insights that you should be talking about. So instead of begging leadership to take, retention seriously, what do you need to do? Just simply show them in numbers what will happen if they ignore it. Numbers. Numbers. And beyond descriptive, you also need to move beyond that to go to prescriptive, analytics. Prescribing to them what will happen. Your recommendation based on data. Please, we need those competencies in 2026. Next, Workforce planning and capability building. I'm not going to dwell there because I think we are doing well in that area because of my time. Let's move to the next slide. Change leadership and consulting skills. Influencing without authority. Coaching managers to lead transformation. And then digital and AI fluency. Should I dwell here a bit? How we know that digital and AI fluency doesn't mean you must become a programmer. It means you need to understand what these tools can do, what they cannot do, and how they change, and how they change the shape of work. It means you should know how your human resource information system works and what insights it can produce. It means you should know how automation can remove all of these tasks that are tying people down, repetitive tasks from HR and from line managers. Yes, as simple as that. That's what we're asking you to know. Not code. It means you should know where artificial intelligence can help things like recruitment screening, which other one now? Learning recommendations, attrition predictions, workforce planning, and so on. Yes. Hone your skills in this area. And then professional ethics and accountability. In today's age of data, in today's age of power and pressure, we as HR sit as a very sensitive junction, if you don't know. Because you are seeing people's salary, Abby. You see their performance ratings. You see their disciplinary cases, their health concerns. You see the politics. You sit in the rooms, others never enter. So if we lose our moral authority, everything else collapses. Me, I'm not selling my conscience. I'd rather work than sell my conscience. So if we can't be trusted, we cannot lead. If you can't be trusted, you can't lead. So when we're talking about ethics as a HR business partner, we mean you are fair, yes, even when it's inconvenient. We mean you protect confidentiality even when pressured. If somebody has HIV/AIDS in your organization, you can't, and is entering a relationship with another person. Here, oh God, you can't break the news to this other person. No. Somebody has HIV/AIDS in the organization and is entering into a relationship with your friend in the organization. I hope you know you cannot break the news to that your friend. Because his health records are supposed to be confidential matters to you. So you are speaking the truth to power, respectfully but firmly, to those in authority. They are not just a toy balloon they can order around to go and hire and fire. I mean, you are aligning with organizational values, especially when no one is watching. But do we? Because again, we want to buy jeeps. So if he favors us, we shift grounds. Let's leave that there. And lastly, we're going to look at the HR trends. The HR trends that are defining our role in 2026. And then we look at this, and then because I know my time is almost up, so we just stop here. Number one, the question in front of us is simple. What is changing around us in 2026 that will redefine our role completely? And it's important because, we are operating inside a storm. Yes, inside a storm in Nigeria. AI, skills disruption, hybrid work, JAPA, regulation, governance, inflation. Oh yeah, Emaka. Everything mixing together. And in the middle of that storm, we are supposed to stand as a stabilizer, as an interpreter, as a guide, and as more. So the first one, as you can see on your screen, artificial intelligence and intelligent HR systems. HR as co-owner of AI strategy, not as spectator. In most organizations I know, technology decisions were something IT took over, and HR just managed the people side. But this posture will be very dangerous next year. Why? Because every AI decision has a people consequence. True or false? Every AI decision has a people consequence. It has a capability consequence. It has a culture consequence. So if HR is not in the room, yes, ma'am.
Obviously,
Okay.
we leave you. We'll still be here for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Please kind of wind down in the next 5 minutes so that we can now do Q&A.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
enjoying myself. Yeah, I told you. I'm just enjoying myself.
Obviously.
Okay. So we're saying you need to be where those decisions are taken. If you're not in the room when those choices are being made, the organization will just buy AI tools that no one will use. We will frustrate it. Cannot afford to continue to be a passive recipient of those AI decisions. So we must be co-owners of all of these, tech. Of course, AI is still tech. All of these tech strategies. So let me leave that there. But I hope you know why we need to. I can't overstress this, because if you don't carry people along, what will follow is what I call techno stress. People feeling overwhelmed, threatened, confused. Another one is fear of this FOBO I wrote here. Is the full meaning is fear of becoming obsolete. Will this thing take my job? Will they still need me after this automation? How do I compete with, what are those questions? How do I compete with a system that works 24/7 and we know the tire? Will my skills still be relevant next year? We need to take care of all of this. Let me quickly move to the next one. They move from job to skills. You see, the traditional model is job description, job titles, fixed roles, etc., etc., senior HR officer, mechanical technician, too, etc., etc. But the world of work is becoming modular. It's becoming fluid. It's becoming project-driven. Work is being broken into skills, into tasks, into projects. And this is changing everything. Everything from all these job description, titular issues to, project skills and, task matters. So in a skill-based organization, hiring shifts from what school did you attend to what can you actually do? And we are there now. Especially with these Gen Zs that will do 3 months with you and be telling you they deserve a long service award. Talent deployments are shifting from who sits in which department to who has the skill for this project right now. Even if it's a gatesman, go and bring the gatesman to come and help us out. Reward is shifting from grade level only to skill currency and value creation. Yes, today disruption has so much eating that if a traditionalist or a baby boomer, all of those babas who have retired, if they come to this current workplace, they can't survive. Because they would rather ask God to take them away. That everything has scattered. So that shift is here from job to skills. What else? What other trend are we expecting? Performance management. Let me just say that straight away. I doubt if any of us we are still doing annual review. But if we are still doing that, oh, please. Performance management is not to punish offenders for not performing. It's to manage their performance, to enhance their performance, to have is it continuous or continual conversations with them to ensure that they perform. Performance management is to ensure they perform, not to make them fail and then punish them like some of us currently do. I'll leave that there and move to the next slide because of my time. Hybrid work. I'm looking at trends that will redefine HR business partner role next year. I mean, since after COVID, this is where I will stop. These 4 things you are seeing on your screen, I'll just touch it and then stop. Many global companies, I've said hybrid is the future. Fantastic. Then Nigeria reality entered the WhatsApp chat, and the table broke into pieces. You know why? The same issue that you and I know. Power, internet, commuting, road no day, power no day, internet no day, extended family, village people matter, small apartments, generator noise, disturbing people during Zoom calls. So hybrid work in Nigeria cannot just be copy and paste from Europe and North America. I've said that again and again. So it must be designed with our context in mind next year, with our context in mind. Now, there are questions we must ask. Which roles truly need physical presence for value to be created? Where can we give flexibility without destroying collaboration? All of those questions we need to ask. And then there is employee value proposition. People are now evaluating organizations based on meaning. Please note this. Employees are also rating you as you are rating them. They are evaluating you based on autonomy. Can I influence how I work here? So valuable if I stay here. They are considering their well-being. Will this job damage my health or support my life? So if you adopt perks like transport and fuel support, food vouchers, meal subsidies. I mean, we did one in one of the organizations, one of the HR, what do we call it? Federal government parastatals icons. I mean, robust launch. Something must bring you to work. There are organizations I also went to consult for. These ones are even kill cow in their organizations. So you will eat free house, free food, free transportation. You will forget your sorrow. It's when gray hair start coming out of your hair. Maybe when you have clock 60 that you will suddenly remember that you have no property. So we need to make those available. Next, retention pressure. We train them, we develop them, we stretch them, then Canada, UK, Europe, take them from us, and off they go. So we need to look around this. I've really dwelled here, so I'm not going to dwell here again. Next, government and compliance. In 2026, with what they are talking about currently, that is a heated issue. Because there are so many moving parts to this conversation. Labor laws, tax laws, ESG, as environmental, social, and governance expectations, ethics and anti-corruption rules, whistleblowing and investigations. Data privacy is still there, employee rights. And when anything goes wrong in these areas, it's not just, HR that looks bad. The entire organization is exposed financially, legally, and reputationally. And you are at the heart of that. So if anything goes wrong with government regulations, now you cause them. Can you see the trend now? All of these new tax laws, you are at the heart of it. any simple mistake can trigger, the scrutiny from FIRS, or what's their new name now? Nigerian Revenue Service. We trigger penalty from them. And we also trigger internal distrust. Because there are new tax expectations. Change to personal, income tax, threshold, payroll calibration and all of that. So what you must do is that you need to work closely next year with finance and legal to ensure that pay structures, issues around benefits, issues around deductions are compliant. You can't limit yourself to hire and fire alone next year, please. You need to strengthen documentation and all this readiness. Please, they will come, and they have said they will come. They will just show up. All of these tax people with police. You need to strengthen documentation and all this readiness. Issues around contracts or records or approvals. You must ensure clear, fair grievance and whistleblowing channels next year. You must also ensure that, a policy, you use policy not just as rule books. Please, if you have not seen my book, please pick it up. It's free. I didn't write it for money. Beyond the rule book, I really dealt on policy matters there. It should not be a rule book. It should be a governance tool that protects both the people and the institution. So I'm going to leave it here. So permit me just stop here because of our time. And then if there are questions, I'll just take it. Thank you very much for this time. I really appreciate it. God bless you. So over to you, please.
Thank you very much, CIPM Badiru. Obviously, like I said, I had to force you to take a break. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can we please appreciate him with a show of hands, clap? We want to unmute and say thank you. Please go ahead and do
Thank you
that.
very much, sir.
Thank
God
you
bless
very
you.
much,
Hey,
Sin
Auntie
Thank you
Ukeme,
very
Badiru.
much, sir.
God bless you. See
Thank
my
you.
people.
Thank
God bless
you.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
At the
you,
point
sir.
of this,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank everyone. At the point on this call, we're about 75. So you can see that it's been a great time this evening. Please, if you have any question.
My chairman is here. Ms. Adenike Adeyelu. Hey, see set up.
Okay.
You went to bring my chairman here. My personal chairman, fa.
He's our own chairman now.
Good afternoon, man. Thank God I didn't know they were here. I see Abayomi Agiri. See
Yes, I saw Yomi
heavyweights,
coming
fa.
at some point. I said, we have people all over. Mrs. Mojid calling in
Wow.
from Canada. So many people. Mrs.
If
Adeleke
I have known,
also.
thank God I didn't know they were here. I wouldn't have been able to talk boldly.
No, they know you can deliver. That's why they sneaked in. So if you have any question at this point, I know some people have been dropping comments on the chat box. So Adepoju, are you talking to us?
Yes.
Okay, you have the floor. Please, let's be
Yeah.
as brief.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience with us. It has been a very great moment. And I want to thank my chairman for notifying me to join immediately. So thank you so much, Mr. Olabode. Now, when you are talking, I think I gained so many things because I just changed my job recently. And one thing I just want to chip in is that everybody should just have this in mind. Either your job role, you are the HR manager, you are the senior HR, you are all whatsoever nomenclature they may give you in your organization. But I just want to advise us that as long as your title have this HR title in it, you must make sure, like the facilitator said, you must make sure that you align yourself with the business goal and everything that is going on. And I want us to know, you just have to be there, because many organizations today, maybe they call you HR manager, they may not call you HR business partner, but they still want you to do the same thing. They want you to hack and show your skill. They want you to be strategic. So I want to advise us not to limit ourselves to our job title only. We have to explore every opportunity and all what it takes to be an HR. So, and when you're talking about the performance management or anything, that it is not just a punishment or only reward and everything, is to drive the business. I want to start an example. My new role where I'm working presently, I think I joined in September. My chairman is aware in September that between that September and now, I've conducted training across all the departments, like 4 trainings, because I don't want to wait till the time that the gap you identify escalated before you solve it. So once I identified in any role, any department, and something like this is going on, immediately I will design a training to address that issue. So, and I think that if I'm in the right channel or if I'm taking the right route, I think it's a very good thing, and it has allowed me to understand the business and establish myself fully in this new environment. So please don't let us limit or wait till a certain time. As much as we are identifying a gap, then we should try as much as possible to address it and be proactive enough to address that and let it pass across, especially to the managers and supervisory level. So this is just my contribution. Thank you so much. I've gained immensely from
Thank
today's
you, Mr. Dekochu. Thank you. Thank you. And just like this, our speaker said earlier, he said, what will your CEO say about you as an HR person? I think it's a very critical question that we need to take home from this session. Do you have any more? Just one? Okay, seems the guys are having the day. Okay, Victor's hand is up. Okay, you have the floor, Victor's. And that'll be the
Okay.
final. Before I will ask, 1 minute before I will ask the branch chair, Mr. Dielu, to present our speaker with his certificate of appreciation. Over to you, Vitus.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma, and very well done to Mr. Badiru for that wonderful presentation. I just want to ask 2 questions, which I already pasted in the chat box. Earlier, you spoke about confidentiality case where sensitive health information is involved. So how does one balance confidentiality with concerns for a friend's well-being when a friend becomes interested in someone who has disclosed a sensitive health condition like HIV? So what is the most appropriate and ethical way to handle such a situation? So that is question 1. So question 2, regarding predictive analysis and modeling in HR, which analytical tools or platform will you recommend mastering in order to build strong skills in forecasting areas such as turnover, performance, and other key workforce trends? My 2 questions, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Oh, okay. So sorry. I didn't know. I didn't unmute. Okay. Okay. I think you were talking about you were referring to the issue I mentioned.
Medical issue and how to
Yes.
manage it.
Okay. You cannot reveal the person's health information to your friend. You know, you can't hint the person, because that would be a breach of confidentiality, a data breach. You can't hint, you can't imply, you can't pressure them to, with coded warnings that could indirectly expose that sensitive fact. No. You can also assign moral judgment to the disclosure. What you can do ethically, I think you can encourage the person to carry out healthy due diligence without revealing anything. Just advise your friend to have an open, honest conversation with anyone they plan to date about their health values, issues around the boundaries and expectations. That's, if I was in your shoes, if I were in your shoes, that's what I would do.
Okay.
So you can also promote, what do they call it? I think they call it safe practices, Avi. discussing safe sex, testing, healthy relationship decisions broadly in the organization. You can bring a facilitator to just come and talk about that as general life guidance, not as a warning about this specific individual. And then I think those are the things in my head. But I think you can also support, the individual who disclosed the information, but in all of this, you need to maintain strict privacy. You need to keep confidential information confidential. So if you believe there is imminent harm, the only ethical, exception to confidentiality is if there is a clear immediate risk of serious harm, and the individual with the condition refuses to actually disclose this to the person. I think you may need to encourage this self-disclosure first. That's talking to this other person, since he knows and beyond that, maybe I know we have serious people, HR leaders here who also contribute, but I think these are what are in my head. If you beyond this, maybe you yourself needs to seek guidance, professional counselor, may seek guidance from any professional counselor to also help you. But the principle to hold is that your duty is to the confidentiality of the person who entrusted you with that sensitive information. Shikena. Your duty is to the confidentiality of that person who entrusted you with that information. What's the second question now?
What predictive analysis tool do you
Predictive.
suggest?
Long. You want to bring out the tech aspect of me. You can't do predictive analysis without.
Please, briefly, so that
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because of our time.
Okay. You can't do predictive analysis without doing artificial intelligence. And the moment you start doing predictive analysis, that means you are introducing Python. You are talking about things around R programming, around SQL. That's core statistical modeling tools. Now, we are not talking about another kind of tool. Will be the business and data visualization tools. Excel is there, which is accessible to everybody. As the advanced one. I've done a course on it, how to dashboards using what do we call this now? Pivot tables, pivot charts, and all of that. Then Power BI and Tableau, that's also there. And all of these other tiny tools, Workday, People Analytics, SAP Success Factor, if your organization has the money to. But if you don't, you can stick with Excel, Power BI, Tableau for the data visualization aspect of it. And for the modeling tools, sincerely, you can't go outside Python. You need to code. So if you go online now, you want to give it a try. If you download TensorFlow or PyTorch, that's a software to code, to design, to develop your artificial intelligence model. You want to design your ChatGPT, your Gemini, just download it, install Python on it, and start coding. Those are the advanced tools to use for that kind of analytics. Thank you very much. So let me stop there.